Greetings, one and all. As you can see, I have a second Q&A video for you all to see and to listen. For this, I will only be answering questions that have been sent by anonymous users. The first one reads, what do I think of being Septiceye? Is being a player better? Being Septiceye, being a player, seeing search engine, different images. Although, there are a few key differences I can easily decipher from them both. In brief detail, they act as polar opposites to each other. Being Septiceye is willing to provide himself as a service android for his users, although his purpose is to care for them similarly to a medic or a psychiatrist. Compared to others such as Darkiplier, I suspect he may have other objectives that he doesn't want his users to explicitly know about. But I've seen how he carries out his duties and performs various tasks. Once, I'd even caught eye of him attending to Jack. Being Septiceye is noble to his cause, an admirable trait. As for being a player, on the other hand, he is the epitome of the Darkiplier persona's laughingstock. I fail to see if he has a purpose to begin with. Always speaking in an inferior version of English, greeting others with only the phrase, "So, dude." Holy shit, I fucking had a phrase. And bragging about his superiority on a skateboard. Virus Cry has more capabilities than being a player, and the former doesn't even have need of a corporeal body to use. I believe I've spoken enough about those two. Consider your questions answered, Veiled One. The next one reads, Mr. Dark, how would you think that it'd be if the human that... This is difficult to read. I assume the question is referring to how I would respond to having a very energetic significant other, or if they're very affectionate. I don't entirely know how to answer all of your questions, but I will try. Someone who is energetic, I suppose it would be quite outgoing, not wanting to stay in one place for too long. Perhaps I could be adventurous and have a love for exploration and meeting new people. If I were to be connected with someone that lively, I only hope that I don't give off the impression of being a straggler who would hold them back. Someone who is sensitive. Sensitivity can be interpreted in various ways. Sensitive by physical means. They may be accident prone, so I would have to keep a careful eye on them to make sure they don't put themselves in danger. If they, instead, are emotionally sensitive, then extra caution would be taken by my end. I would also need to learn of any triggers that may upset them, any phobias they may often face, or issues they constantly deal with. Any person can become sensitive through their life if they are given too much affection, or lack thereof. If I can assist them in some way to make his, her, or their life better, it'll be beneficial in some way. If they happen to be playful, as you put it, however, that's another characteristic to think over. Surprise kisses and hugs, I wouldn't mind them, as long as they don't get in the way when I'm in the middle of a task. A good laugh is always welcome, and I cherish every moment of well-deserved humor. I must also add that if anyone even dares to try and tickle me, that may have some consequences if you aren't careful. I wouldn't compare myself to a giggling child, if that's what you're assuming. A fair warning. Well then, I hope I managed to answer your questions to your satisfaction, Veiled One. Otherwise, I have nothing to suggest to you aside from an interpreter to better write your queries. The third question we'll address says, what was the idea that you had in your head when you were playing Truth or Dare with Auntie when he brought up the color thing? What do you like to do for fun? I see you found evidence of that silly game Auntie and I did before this network was first established. Truth be told, pardon the pun, there were some questions I regret asking, mainly in relation to the Truth or Dare game itself. The color thing Auntie referred to was in regards to something he doesn't favor. But I know he lied. In actuality, it's one of his turn-ons. I thought he was joking from the answer he gave me, and I suppose you could say the idea that I had in mind was to see if Auntie would mind wearing colors for disciplinary purposes. He can growl and shout all he wants. But that's no way to negotiate with a gentleman, is it? On the subject of entertainment, music and poetry have always helped to soothe my mind from time to time. And the same goes for reading and writing. I dabble with the piano as well, and can play a few songs from memory. If I'm craving something with a taste of excitement, film and performing arts are my preferred mediums of entertainment. And on occasion, there would be a song that would come circling my thoughts when my mind wanders. Several weeks ago, I had come across an enthralling symphonic metal band by the name of Camelot, and their song, March of Mephisto, excites my interest extensively. I recommend giving it a listen, preferably the full version, if you look carefully enough. The fourth question from our anonymous user says, how do I feel about the other Septicais? From my guess, you're referring to all of Jack's personas present here on the network? Very well. I'll start with Anti-Septicai, as I'm sure many would suspect I have a strong rivalry against. Anti, as strong as he may be, has a number of limitations that easily stretch him thin. He relies on attention as his life force. If no one pays mind to him, he may as well be dead. With the natural glitches and an affinity with knives, obviously he poses a threat in more ways than one, inflicting sabotage upon any piece of technology near him with murderous intent. He hungers for control and popularity over everything else. And don't even get me started on his cannibalism and necrophilia. Dr. Schneebelstein, while he may be a doctor by profession, his competence has left me doubting his abilities to actually treat his patients. I could refer to him another qualified doctor I know very well, who may be able to provide some worthy practical information for Schneebelstein to undergo professional development. Although I question his knowledge, I cannot fault him for trying to help the people who are both in need and close to his heart. On the other hand, I find some rare enjoyment hearing him rambling in German. Being Septicai is a wild card. I've seen him caught in debates and even heated arguments with Darkiplier, labeled as defective and obsolete. Whether all this has proven Google's analyses remains to be seen. I'm fully aware that Bing doesn't share the same objectives as Google, Instead of working as an android intent on destruction, his programming is set where his functions are used for caretaking. I'm sure he hates me for what I am and can do. But I actually find his purpose for helping humanity, instead of hindering them, to be admirable. If a robot with sentience could possibly possess a soul, I believe Bing can hold one. I don't have much to say on the rest of Jack's other existing egos, as they have not made as much an impact as the ones I've elaborated on just now. Perhaps if they wish to contribute to our network, I may be given the opportunity to learn much more about them over time. We shall see what happens in the coming months. And for the fifth and final one. Dark, let's be fair. I am certain there are plenty of people who wish to know of whatever plans you have, to get more insight on them. But I think we all know you would, at the very least, be pretty reluctant to tell anything. So we are stuck with mundane questions to ask. At least flatter us a bit, sweetheart. G. Flattery will not get you far, G. If you are truly that curious as to what I have planned, I'm afraid you may be in for a very unpleasant surprise. I'm not saying what it is, and I am generous enough to not have to put you through it, for your sake and mine. Although, I could drop one tiny hint or two about what I have in store for all of you. If you are patient, I may reward you handsomely. Persist, and you will be ignored. I have no trouble with you or anyone else asking me simple questions. Most of you have already done so from the very beginning. What is my key method of torture? What are my thoughts on antisepticai? What names can you call me other than Dark? What gifts do I accept? Will I go on a date with you? Do I like chicken and dumplings? And so on, and so on. Keep them coming. Ask away anything that is on your delicate mind. After all, you should feel privileged that I'm encouraging you to do so. And those are the questions that I have prepared for this particular Q&A video, all devoted to our veiled anonymous askers. Those who have sent in a question towards me but have a name will also get their questions answered shortly. Like I said before, those who are patient will be rewarded in kind. And I have a great deal more questions to go through. So I hope this all enlightens you, especially those who had sent in these queries for me to answer in this video. Until then, I will be seeing you all very soon, once again, on the TheGlitchedSystem. Until next time.